Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums today with another tarot spread video. Today I will be doing a 3-card reading that is nice and easy to use. This is going to be the Embracing Personal Change spread. I don't know if I've shared this on my channel yet, but I wanted to kind of just do this as its own exclusive video, and I hope you guys enjoy. So I'm using the Halloween Tarot by something Kipling West. I was like, what is her name? It's an older deck. I just really love it. It's one that just really resonates for me. So let's see. So card number 1 is going to be what needs to change in my current situation. So what needs to change in my current situation? We have the High Priestess. And then we have card number 2. So how can I deal with this change as it comes? We have the Queen of Imps or Queen of Wands. And then finally, card number 3, what can I expect to see result from this? We have the 4 of Bats or the 4 of Swords reversed. So like all my other little tarot spread readings, I like to kind of do a sample of like how I would read this or how I'd use this in practical use. So the very first card, again, what needs to change in my current situation? We have the High Priestess, which is essentially a card that can talk about, you know, being a little bit more trusting, moving more into like utilizing my intuition, kind of connecting a little bit more. The High Priestess can kind of come off as a little bit more of like an emotionally charged energy. Not to say wavering, but more about the intuitive self, kind of connecting more to those elements and those aspects of who we are. Now, from my own personal experience, I can say just because I've been really busy with other things, I haven't really had a lot of time to kind of connect to my spiritual practices or to really dedicate a lot of time and effort into this part of myself and my life. And so I guess it's kind of telling me, hey, you need to reconnect. You have not been connecting. You've not been following through on your spiritual, intuitive elements of your life that maybe are a big part of what you do. So that's what needs to change, is I need to kind of step back into intuition, step back into trusting, step back into, you know, really paying attention to this part of who I am. Now, this being a major card, that I feel like this is a really big push then from the universe to kind of say, like, what are we doing with this energy? Because that's what definitely needs to change. Now we move on to card number 2. We have, how can I deal with this change as it comes? We have the Queen of Imps or the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is essentially this like high energy sort of vibe, right? She's like kind of known as like the witch of the tarot deck. And so she's fiery, she's passionate, she's driven, she's a mover, she's a shaker, she's here to kind of like show up in this like energy of really nurturing the things that she really loves, really moving with her sense of passion and what drives her. So I kind of look at her as someone that's like, she needs to kind of go back out into the world and enjoy things and really like show up as who she is fully 100%. So maybe the big thing here is that I haven't really been allowing myself to kind of go out into the world and enjoy things as I once used to. So the energy here is kind of saying like, hey, we're not intuitively connected in some ways. And that is what really needs to change, is this like being more trusting, being more intuitively connected, really honoring this like spiritually magical element of who you are. And the way that you can deal with these changes is by, you know, really getting into it, not just kind of sitting back. This is not a time to just be, what's the word? It just like left my brain. I've been having that happen so much lately. To just not be like compliant and just to kind of like be very like, oh, I'll just wait for things to come to me. I think that these cards are kind of saying like, you got to get into it, girl. You can't keep holding back. This is not the time. Let's really go out there and see what's going on. And I think it's interesting to have these two very strong feminine energies here. Now for card number 3, which is, again, this is a quick reading. It's nice. I kind of like to do this as like a quick check-in. So what can I expect to see result from this if I were to kind of connect a little bit more to my intuition, trusting myself a little bit more in this energy, being more of the spiritually connected, intuitive sort of person that I like to be, and allowing myself to kind of show up and nurture these elements of myself and be very passionate and driven with the things that I love, then I can get this kind of energy here. The Four of Bats or the Four of Swords reverse is typically a card that to me really talks about maybe there's a lack of healing. So this is maybe saying that maybe I will have to kind of refocus on the sorrow, the loss, the sadness and isolation that maybe I've been feeling. Maybe it'll give you an opportunity to not feel so isolated in some way so that I can actually welcome in the healing that the Four of Bats is trying to talk about here, where maybe it's a little bit blocked, it's a little bit internalized. Maybe there's something within myself that I'm just not quite ready to let go of. And so that is something that is limiting my experience at the current moment. And maybe intuitively I know this. And so maybe it makes it harder because I'm too busy. And so I think the Four of Bats here, what can I expect to result from this is that I will finally be able to heal some of the things or to confront some of the loss or the sadness and isolation that I've been feeling. Now, as someone who's been extremely busy, just trying to survive. I mean, I think all of us can kind of feel that energy. I have noticed that I haven't had a lot of time for like joy. I haven't had a lot of time to really focus on like some of the interpersonal relationships that I value. I haven't had a lot of like that divine feminine connection that I really like miss. And so it's been a little bit challenging because I haven't had a lot of time to hang out with friends. I haven't had a lot of time to just reconnect with people and really just like take time out, even like with readings and stuff like that. Those are things that I really, really love to do, but I haven't had the time to do so, or I've been really distracted and busy with other stuff. So I think that this embracing personal change is that is such a big part of who I am too. And so I think these cards are kind of saying like, hey, we also need to invest time into these parts of who we are. Don't forget that that's also a vital part of your nature. And that is something that makes you feel more balanced. Because when I think of the Four of Swords, I think it's very much about like healing really beginning. It's an opportunity to just breathe and to enjoy things. So I think that these three cards are so simple. It's such a simple spread, but it's such a great way to like connect, to really get to the meat of it. I mean, I could possibly journal about this like several pages as far as like what I am seeing within myself, what I'm seeing within my situation, what I need to focus on, what it is that I maybe even build out a little action plan that honors the energies of these cards. And so I think it's a wonderful spread. It's quick. It's not anything super crazy. And I think that it allows for a lot of depth if you were to be able to kind of have a good connection. And again, you don't have to just use tarot cards. You can use oracle cards. I mean, I could do a quick sample oracle card to kind of show you how I would read that. So I'm going to just do a quick with the Elemental Empath deck. And I have like, have incense dust all over my cards. So, all right, so let's just see. Let's do the same thing. Just so you guys can see, because I know I usually use tarot decks and I know like that's not for everybody. So let's see what we have here. So we're going to leave those three and then we'll kind of see how they tie into the energies of these three cards. So we have card number one, what needs to change in my current situation? We have earth or grounding. Card two, how can I deal with this change as it comes? So here we have the Creatrix card. I don't think that these do reverse. So expressing emotions, birth your creation, womb energy, which is again very wands coded. And then how can I expect to see, or what can I expect to see result from this? And so here we have boundaries. That's interesting. I would definitely relate these cards back to the original tarot cards that I pulled. Now, earth grounding, this is calming the mind, connecting to body, mindfulness, nature. Now, this is going to be a little bit more Queen of Pentacles kind of coded, more so than the High Priestess, but I think it is very much about kind of grounding myself enough to reconnect to my personal power and learning how to trust. As someone that has a lot of earth in their natal chart, I will say that for me, being out in nature, being connected to earth energy is something that allows me to connect more to the spiritual, emotional, and intuitive aspects of who I am. Just like this last weekend, I decided to go to one of the lakes by here and just kind of sit and commune with that energy. It's something that really feeds my spirit. Now, for card number 2, this was how can I deal with this change as it comes? This is about expressing emotions, birthing your creations, womb energy. Which I feel like, even though I would look at this more as like the Queen of Cups, I think that this is very much Queen of Wands energy, creating kind of momentum, expressing like how you feel, being very connected in different ways. And then finally, what can I expect to see results from this? We have boundaries, which is reclaiming your space, inner and outer energetic boundaries. Again, it is something that I do tend to struggle with as a little bit of a people pleaser, trying to recover, but it's hard. I think that either way, both of these sets of cards can still be extremely informative. So don't feel like you just have to use tarot cards when I share these spreads. I hope that you enjoyed this very quick embracing personal change spread. I hope that these tarot spreads allow you to connect a little bit deeper and in more meaningful ways with your decks and also with your tarot reading practice or personal reading practice. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.